major player in so many of the school things that I've done and shared in them and worked with the kids and encouraged them kids and some of the highs that come from watching those kids succeed that we've shared together are just, they're just even hard to make people understand. Rob will say, "When are we doing this?" And he'll say, "I can't miss it because something great's going to happen." And I don't want. I know you can't explain it after it's happened. That you just have to be there when it happens.
The first job of a drummer is beat keeper, is keeping everybody's time. They're busy trying to create, and most of the time they don't want to have to worry about time. In other words, they want to know the time is right in one place, and that's the first job of a drummer, to nail where the time is. Then the second level of that is to be following the melody, is to be kind of playing everybody else, to be playing the melody and the music that's coming from all of them, but at the same time, you can't give up the time. That's why it takes years to kind of develop.
The drummer is always the center of the music. And the drummer is really the conductor of the band. It controls the tempo, the dynamics, the fire, the power. It's the upper part of the swing with the high cymbals. All the drums is a very, very important instrument.
Of course, without a drummer keeping time, good time, you don't have a band. I think it's the most important part of the whole orchestra. It drives the band, controls the dynamics, whether they're loud or soft, but most importantly, keeps time, good steady time. Without that, there's no band. Without Gene Krupa keeping time with Benny Goodman, you'd have no band.
Robbie rolls along. He doesn't just play. He's able to kind of fire you up and get going. He's a good player, good musician, a lot of fun to play with.
When my dad died, we put his saxophone away, or actually I did, knowing full well that there would be a time where my brother would call for it. Because it was such an unexpected death, and the silencing of the instrument and the song was so severe that we had it put away, and I looked at it occasionally, just from afar, feeling it was not my province, that it much more belonged to my brother. And so, when we recently have had a chance to open it, it was significant.
His loss was great. And Rob was in his second year of college, and I feel it was very important to him because shortly thereafter he established this triple major in psychology, philosophy, and music. He added music as the third major, and the college permitted it. He was the first one at Quinnipiac College to do this.
My first meeting with Rob was we needed a drummer for a studio date, a commercial, and it was we were going to record in New Haven. Our drummer was sick. Someone said, "I know a drummer. He's really good." That was my first meeting with him. It was an interesting first meeting because we were dressed in suits and ties at the time. It was this, late '60s, and we were pretty straight. And Rob came in with shoulder-length hair, a muumuu, barefoot in the middle of winter. And when he walked in, the producer said, "Who is that guy?"
This is my way of changing the way I feel, okay? When I do this, I couldn't feel any better than when I do this because I'm not thinking of the past or the future. This makes me live the present. All right, that may be a little heavy for you, but just take this example, okay? The only way you can be in the present is not describing it to yourself, because if you think, you start describing the moment to yourself, you're already getting it secondhand. You're not in the moment. There have been many things along the way that have tested coordination, just to see whether you could do something. So just try this with me, okay? Try this with me. It's not easy necessarily. Rub your stomach in a circle like this, and rub your head up and down like this. Stomach in a circle, this is faculty included. If you're going to show them, you want them to express themselves, you're going to have to be able to do it yourself. Okay? Up and down over here. Very nice, President Oxford, very nice. Up and down here. Okay, now get ready. Now switch your hands. Switch your hands over here. Switch. Switch. No, not like this. No, not like that. All right, up and down here, up and down. Come on, up and down, girls. Let's see. Okay, get ready now. Switch, okay, switch. Switch. Switch.
We're gonna do it just a little faster. Everybody clap real quick. じゃあ今度もうちょっと早くいきますから皆さん一緒に手拍子をお願いします。
Everybody clap real quick.
ちょっと小さめに。
Nice and quiet. Yeah. 1, 2, ready, go.
Music is music no matter where you go in the world, and kids, no matter where you go in the world, will relate to that simply because music gets inside you and it makes you become freer and it connects you with somebody else. Without speaking, you can just hear the music and enjoy it and connect. And that's what his program does. It connects with kids in a nonverbal way. And then once he breaks down that barrier with them, then he can speak with them in a verbal way because he's already prepared the soil, as he says.
The reason that sex, drugs, and rock and roll is so alluring a philosophy is because all of that is nonverbal. All right? When it's the best, it's nonverbal. When you go to a concert, you don't know about your mind. Your mind goes to Albania. You just go into the heart. You go into the emotions of it. When you're kissing somebody, all right, you don't want to be sitting there saying, "I left the door in my room open." You know what I mean? You don't want to be doing that. You want to be in touch. You want to be there. That's what this does for me. When I do this, I'm not thinking of the past. I'm not thinking of the future. I am not thinking. I am in this moment now. So I want you to find your own natural way of changing the way you feel. And I don't care whether that's parachuting or scuba diving or singing, dancing, theater, martial arts, karate, kung fu. I don't care what it is, but find your own natural way.
When you purify your intent, then you always will, kids will stay with you because they go more off of intent. And you got to realize if you're a kid too, you don't understand half the times people are talking to you. Whether you're looking at a television program or you're reading a newspaper, you're hearing your parents talk, a lot of the words they're using, a lot of the context and the things they're talking about, you are actually accustomed to not understanding what's being said. So you're picking up on every other thing that lets you know what's going on. Body language, the inflection, tone.
With Rob, when he plays, he's right in the moment and he gives his all to his playing. And it doesn't matter if he had a bad day or he doesn't think about what's going to happen tomorrow or what happened last week. He gives his all right then for the performance.
Rob certainly has the skills and the talent to go quite far in the music industry, but his love of teaching students is what has kept him in this area. His devotion to the community, his devotion to the world as a citizen of planet Earth in general. He's just a humane person who cares about the people that are around him.
I had said on the air, we need a band. Rob called and said, all right, we'll put a band together and perform for the kids. Rob has performed at every single We Are the Children party since that day every year. Now we have like a superstar band, all wonderful players, and it's just tremendous. We now have the biggest party in America on Christmas Day for abused, abandoned, homeless, handicapped kids, and Rob's one of the originals who was there the first day, and he's there every year.
If one little girl, one little boy comes up to him and goes, "Oh, wow, that was great," and he changes when they have to make that decision about drugs or if they want to get involved in music, he does that, then he's more than a success.
He was awesome. His drums, oh my God, he was just so awesome.